Hey,
Welcome, my friends. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. It gives me great pleasure to welcome all of you to our PMP exam lessons learned. Kristin Wood has been working with me since December, been very meticulous going through the content, not cutting corners, going through a lot of the content people avoid today, which specifically is the knowledge areas and the process groups. But she did a really good job combing through, making sure she went through every single bit of detail. And this is just the big celebration of her success. So well done,
yay.
Kristin. Woo! I
Thank
am so
you.
excited. We have one or two of our friends who have been in the journey with us. Morgan was on the journey with us. And Morgan has questions, obviously, being that he's going to be next on the block to take the exam. So I'm going to bring him up at some point to ask questions. But Kristin, tell us, how are you feeling right now?
Awesome. It is still sinking in, I think, that this is real. Today it kind of hit me. I don't have to get up and study and stress about that anymore. So it's been
Woo!
fun. I've
Oh
really
my goodness,
enjoyed
I can
having.
only imagine. So tell us, Kristin, what did you do the moment you got certified? Well, apart from calling your buddy Phil your biggest cheerleader, not in size, hopefully, but your biggest cheerleader.
Yeah.
What did you do? Tell us what you did after that.
I actually went out to lunch and I enjoyed a margarita and then I got myself a massage and a
There you go.
hairdo. So
Woo! You
yeah,
go,
yeah.
you go.
Thank
That's what I'm
you.
talking about. Well done. Well done. So, Kristin, the first question that I have to ask you is why did you want to get PMP certified? Why put yourself through this? And when did your journey actually start?
I worked for about 13 years at a property management company and I was an IT director for about and because I had been IT focused before, I'd put in many years in the IT world and I really wanted something new and exciting to do with my career. And I'd already managed a lot of projects as a director, as a manager, but I wanted to have the ability to be able to go and potentially contract other places and see different new and exciting things and be able to apply the EI skills and my organizational skills and then IT background to be able to do more with my career and kind of become less of a doer, as I'm about to turn 50 this year. And not that
Wow,
I'm not doing, but really, getting into project managing full time and having that be my focus.
fantastic. I love it. My goodness. Well done on that decision. And then it started around how long ago did you begin the upward climb? What year
Upward.
was?
Oh, let's see. I left corporate world in 2019.
Okay.
So I started in 1996. I'm dating myself a little bit in the IT world, and I managed Novell systems and systems and worked on networks and things like that. So I got to have a gamut of experience. And so
Okay, gotcha. Gotcha. And then the PMP, you met Praizion as a result of one of our awesome students, April, who had gone through the process. She got certified. So you asked her, did she offer you the information? Hey, you should get PMP. How did that work?
yeah, it was funny how things work. I had started looking at PMP online a few weeks prior to even meeting April.
Oh,
And she was looking for a place to live. I was advertising for a friend. And then I asked her what she did. And she said, "Oh, I'm a project manager." I'm like, "No way." And she goes, "I have this great program. Check it out."
wow.
And I reached out to Phil and I was excited because, it's a little bit daunting to think about doing it completely alone. And she said that the camaraderie, the coaching, and the mentoring was a huge part of it, and that you guys had put together a really solid program to get people through to the things that they really needed to know, not only to do the job, but also to pass the test. So I was like, let's go.
Okay. Awesome. And look at us. We did it. Well, you did it. You did all the hard work. So let's talk about let's talk about the hard work that you put in, Kristin. And I know some of our friends are watching and seeing your screen may appear frozen, Kristin. but I think the internet is bouncing in and out. So one of the questions I always ask people after they attain their PMP is, how did you study? What was the upward journey towards getting to where we are today? Before we go back to Kristin, who I'm guessing is frozen on your screen as well. Can everyone see Kristin, or is it me? Who's frozen? Was it me or was it Kristin? Who was frozen?
I'm not sure. I'm sorry about that.
Hey, Morgan,
My
you want to tell us who was frozen for a second there? Can you put in the chat? Mac, welcome. Who was frozen for a second?
I can't tell you who is frozen. I'm listening and working on the call at
Yes,
the
yes,
same
you are
time.
working. That's true. So thank you, Morgan. I'll call on you
But
later.
but
So,
both of y'all's screens are moving now. So
okay,
Let's
okay.
go
Well,
over
if
to
anyone saw who froze, I want to make sure I know who it was. But Kristen froze
I think Kristen
mid-flight,
froze again.
and it might have been mine. Did you see me freeze, Kristen?
No. Oh, sorry.
Okay,
Who froze?
I saw you freeze, everything froze. But you know what? Maybe I should move down to my internet downstairs. I can try a different internet just to
That's
be
okay. So
safe really
Mac,
quick.
thank you for chiming in. That
Okay.
Mac, did you see who froze for a second?
Just Christy actually froze. Just
Ah,
Kristin.
okay,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay, very good.
Okay.
I
So
was thinking
Kristen,
maybe something wrong with
just
my
be aware
internet.
of
Sorry.
that. Do you wanna jump on? Do you want to reconfigure to the other internet connection? And while you do that, I'm just going to speak to our friends who are here in the call. So, do you want to tell us where you are in your PMP journey while Kristen does her Wi-Fi configuration? Where are you in the process, Mac? Are you almost ready to shoot for the exam now? So, Kristen, you began the journey with us very diligently. You started working hard, started going through all the content. Can you walk us through what your daily process was? Were you putting in 30 minutes a day or more?
Initially, I was starting at about 2 hours today, 2 hours a day. Um, and so I kind of found that pace a little bit hard to keep up, I think, with work that I had to take on within about a month of it. So it was kind of an hour, and then I'd have days where I could put in a couple hours. So it varied. I think I tried to keep it on pace for about 2 hours per day, just wasn't always every single day.
That's phenomenal. That's really awesome that you put in that amount of time on the regular. Can you tell us what was the more difficult piece to get through? You had people, process, and business. So which one was the hardest? I hear a little voice. Whose little voice is that? I heard a little voice.
Apologize, Dylan. That's my son.
Oh, no problem. Oh, hi there, Daryl. Okay, let me go ahead and put everyone into classroom mode, okay, and then we'll continue. All right, so Kristen, you may need to unmute yourself while I put everyone in classroom mode. Okay, can you
Okay.
unmute yourself? Good. So people, process,
Great. Okay,
business.
can you hear
What
me?
was the harder?
Okay. I think it was probably process. Obviously, that's it, there's a lot of meat there. I think the people part of it made sense to me in a lot of different ways. So I think process was probably the more challenging one for me.
And which aspect of process? Was it the sheer volume or was it technicality? What was it?
I think it was probably just sheer volume.
So being
I
someone in the
think
world of IT, you have a technical mind, so formulas were not that big a deal for you. So what was the biggest challenge in your PMP journey that you would like to share with us? The biggest challenge?
I think that truthfully, I think that I made it harder than it was. I think that and I don't mean, that doesn't mean to sound condescending in any way, meaning that I was really worried that there was going to be a lot of definitions, a lot of details that we would need to know, and we might have to really be, dealing with tricky instances or nuances. And I found that that really wasn't the case. It really is understanding that mindset. And since it is agile and hybrid heavy, that was definitely the right philosophy, and that it's mostly just situational. And so when you're focused on dig sieve and you're focused on that mindset, you know, Phil's doing the right thing by talking to you and going, okay, like, what would I do first? And using those tools, I feel like you have a really solid foundation to be able to, you know, dig into the question.
Absolutely. So, Kristin, I'm going to give a blank slate right now because there's so much to unpack. And I think it will be great if you just walked us through everything you want us to know. I'm just going to be taking my notes here while you teach
Great.
us the process.
Okay. So I found it was about 60% Agile, you guys. I saw about 3 to 4 questions with predictive stated in it. So they did let you know that either it was a company that was predictive and that was wanting to move to Agile, or that it was just predictive and they had an Agile experienced person coming into a predictive group. And how do you make that person feel more comfortable in that environment, and how do you bring them in? So those were some you know, ideas for you in terms of how that's going. I personally didn't find it like very tricky to figure out which one it should be. I think if you know, generally speaking, which one should be which, you can pick those out pretty well. In terms of mathematics, I was pleasantly surprised in a way and a little disappointed in a way, but the earned value question, it's really, it was a drag and drop, and it was really knowing if your CPI is greater than 1 or equal to 1 or less than 1, where are you at? You know, is it going good for your project, or SPI? So it wasn't tricky in terms of the mathematics questions. I didn't see any communication channel questions. It doesn't mean you don't want to know it just in case, but that was my personal experience. Like I said, it's situational. So I feel like when you know your processes, your inputs and outputs, you're in a really good philosophy to know when they're, bringing a problem to you, which route you need to go. So a lot of it is, what is the PM going to do next? Or they like to phrase it also, what should the PM have done? There were quite a few questions in that. So it's like, we're not having good stakeholder engagement and everybody's complaining about communications. What should the PM have done? Another example, I'm just going to throw out their scenario, which I liked. And the reason why, it's important to know what your role is as APM is I got these 2 questions, and it was like about one of my team members having an IT problem. And I was kind of like, it threw me off. I'm like, and then I realized I'm the impediment remover. I get that person a ticket, a priority ticket open, and I get that problem solved for them because they're my team and I need them functional. And so those are important things that they throw in there to kind of test, are you thinking about what your role is in this? So that was very helpful and interesting. I definitely, if you're just starting out, read the Agile practice guide, I feel like sooner. It's going to really get you into that mindset thinking as you're looking at all of these questions and problems, and it will put you in a very good frame of mind to understand what the test is going to be, I feel like, personally. Let's see, other things. When you're thinking about your problems, the situational questions, is this a risk thing? Do I need to update a change log? Is this the issue log? Kind of where am I at in the scenario is very helpful, and just going through those. You don't have to memorize every input and output, but know the major ones. And I feel like if you know those pieces, you're going to have a very good background when it comes to answering questions. I did feel like there were a lot of questions about, well, what if your stakeholder's not happy? What if your customer's not happy? And depending on where you are in the process, what action are you going to take? So if you're at the end of your sprint, what happens there if they're not fully satisfied with what that looks like? So thinking through those scenarios, there were a couple of questions that I thought it was worth mentioning about having people not abiding by the social contract and how to handle that with people. So I was surprised that those were on there as much as they were, but I would say there was probably a good 3 to 4 questions They also quizzed me on junior team members either not knowing, understanding what to do when they first got onto the team, or that they were not communicating with the team in the daily stand-ups, and then how to address it with them. And in some cases, the right answer might have been to mentor them with older people on the team, or to make sure that you're addressing them directly and asking them what they need to know more about. So those were some things that I encountered. And I'm just kind of looking over communication failures seem like it came up a lot, and what to do on the test. And I was really surprised. I thought there was going to be more questions on what kind of contract to use and estimating. And I was, looking for those, and I really didn't see those come up as much as I thought. And I really wasn't put to the test on that. So a little bit of a relief there. I didn't have to know any names. Sorry, my son's bothering me here. Sorry if you see me shaking my head. No. I oh gosh, I didn't have to, I was surprised. Like, I was ready for McGregor and Crosby and Deming and all of these names to come up, and it didn't. So I'm just kind of throwing you some bones again, not saying you don't know it.
Yeah,
but I'm giving you, a little bit of what I remembered from this. And I think the biggest thing for me is, like, towards the end, I was making myself a little bit crazy trying to make sure I memorized all the definitions. And because it was so situational, it really was making myself crazy. It's good to know it, but that's not what the test was really about. And so I got better at what I do, but it didn't really have to come into play on the exam.
So, Kristin, is it fair to say that this immersion was sufficient because you didn't get formulas, you didn't get the crazy definitions? So it's really more about a mindset and a philosophy. Is it fair to say that?
Yes.
And then stack on
Absolutely.
some Agile, stack on the Agile practice guide, but don't go crazy pulling your hair out over tools, techniques, inputs, outputs, 49 processes, and so on. But knowing the map can help you sensitize you to what is happening where. But we don't need to go crazy on the inputs, tools, techniques, and outputs at all.
No.
That's so helpful.
Yeah, it is. And I feel like it's the immersion book and the Agile guide, really. And I did go through the PMBOK. And then some nights I would just sit there and read through in the back of the glossary, like the definitions, some, just to kind of make sure I'm keeping it fresh in my head. That was helpful. But I do feel like actually your immersion book is really good in preparing us for our trade as well. And so it does prepare you for the test, but it also prepares you very well for the trade. And I thought it gave me a really solid understanding of that. I think one thing I would have done differently is that I have a tendency to study a lot myself, and Phil had me in some Saturdays where we were quizzing each other and whatnot. What I realized later in the game here is that I was so used to reading and writing things down. Sometimes it's a little bit different when you're thinking it out loud in your head and you're saying it to people. And so because I had such a visual representation in my head, that was a little bit of a translation thing. When Phil was quizzing me right before the test, I was like, okay, I have to look at this in my mind now and say this, but also I think it's good practice. And I think that's also a key part of studying, is using the study partners.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And let's talk about the great work you did. So for people who don't know, Kristin was on a program at hpmexam.com. I want to make it very clear because I get this question all the time. Phil, I want to come on the program. What do I do? And then they try to go through other means and they're not able to find it. The place that you need to go, that Kristin's friend told her, is called hpmexam.com. And this is a combination of things. One, you're going to get all the attention that you need on the phone, hand-holding on email, coming in for study programs. but we also have, starting off the program, we have a kickoff meeting where we go through, it's called PMP Exam Immersion itself, and that's where we go through all the 35. Did it go in a blur that day, Kristin? You remember that first day we met and we did all the 35 tasks in December? You
Yes.
remember?
Yeah. I
We
do.
had
I do.
we had a few others on the call who are now PMPs as well. So we started off like that. So if anyone out there is looking to join the program, I'm not after quantity, I'm after quality. So when any of my students makes it to the finish line, they get certified, I know I can call on those folks to mentor, train, coach, and help others. You know, it's not one of those drive-through kind of courses, you know, where they just push you out half microwave. No, this is, so I can trust that, you know, Kristin is well marinated. And Kristin, just allow me to brag on you a little bit, but your note taking, all of the coursework that you did, I'm just going to brag on you for a few seconds. I call Kristin the professor because she's very detailed. She goes through everything and takes, I mean, look, this is like a book. This is a book. But these are her notes that she's gone through meticulously. Do you see what I'm talking about here? Do you see the number of pages on this thing? This is a lot of work. This is not someone who just rolled out of bed and said, hey, I'm going to take the exam. So she's very well marinated in this stuff. I mean, it goes on and on and on and on. There's so many pages. You see like over 20 pages of content. And this is just one. Kristin, you see your handiwork. Does it bring chills, flashbacks? What do you feel taking a look
Yes,
at
it does.
that? Don't make me
Yeah,
do it
I can
again.
see. Right. No. I laugh. I can see where I definitely get into stuff, and I could probably be a little bit extra sometimes.
But Kristin is fantastic because this is the level a mentor and coach needs to be at to help people. If you don't get to this level, it's superficial. I know you've truly absorbed the contents, and I'm excited. I can only wait to see what else happens. But Kristin, do you have any advice for people who are scared and are on the sidelines, not wanting to schedule the exam? There may be professionals like you, maybe not as much experience, or maybe they do. Maybe they got 15 years, 20 years. What do you have to say to those people who are like, oh, I'm not ready?
Schedule the exam. So read your immersion, read the Agile, and schedule your exam 1 month. It's lock it in, because I didn't think I was a procrastinator about the test, but I did, I let work and stuff. And so finally, when I booked it was locked in and I got it done. And I would recommend that. Worst case, you can always move it. But I think it really motivates you to get it done.
Absolutely. Yeah. At what point did you know, before I ask you that question, let me ask a baby's question. And the question is, how did you manage the time on the exam, the 230 minutes? Teach us, Kristin.
Should have done it a little better, guys. So my lesson learned on it, usually I'm pretty good at that, but of course, the first section, you guys, is where you're hitting your nerves, right? And you're trying to get your stride and all that stuff. And I usually, when I did the mock exams, I would finish early and have plenty of time to review everything and all of that. Oh no. So it's really smart to get in there and take your 230 and subtract each section. So you know what your stopping points, you should be hitting, and then glance over just periodically. What I realized on my first section is I was reading a lot slower because it meant something and I was taking more time. And so that particular section, I flagged things, but I didn't have time to go out and finish that as much as I would. So my lesson was learned on the first section, and then I adjusted second, third, which unfortunately I had to tailor my breaks to just a bathroom break. And I don't recommend that if you can get away with it. It's nice to have that mental refreshment so that you're not reading questions over and over and wasting time, because that can happen.
True.
4 hours got pretty long. Yeah.
So
So
Abebe, I hope that answers the question. Abebe says, is that sufficient time to prepare myself for reading? Oh, he's asking, so your 30-day recommendation. So, baby, have you been for a 35-hour course? If you have, that is, in my mind, way more than enough time, because what I would suggest that you do when you pick up this book, double time. To be quite honest, I can tackle 2 chapters in this book a day and be done in 15 days. You know, back in high school, they'd give us like 3 times the amount of content, and we would have to do it, you know? So I would advise, if you truly mean business, don't push it out too much. 30 days is enough. I've seen people do everything from 1 or 2 days after their 35-hour course, jumping straight into the exam. Some people do it that way, but I think 30 days, based on what I'm hearing from a lot of PMPs, that's enough. So take Kristin's advice. Good deal.
Yep, do your 35 hours, read your immersion and your agile, and then give yourself 30 days and do it. I think it's great.
Absolutely. Morgan, now would be a great time for you to come on, buddy, and ask any question. You were with Kristin in the class a few times, so just jump on and ask questions when you're ready. I know he's under the hood somewhere working on a car. Morgan? Let me ask him to unmute.
Hey, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Yes, thank you for coming. Now's a great time.
So, question is like, I'm starting to look at the definitions heavier. Is like, should I really concentrate heavily on those definitions, or am I overdoing it?
You're overdoing it. It made me so mental at the end.
Oh dear.
No, Morgan, and I know that feels weird. It's hard to like wrap our brains around this, but I watched Phil's Agile, send him that video to prepare 1 to 3 days, the Agile mindset. Dig Sieve. I can't tell you how much I use Dig Sieve. I'm like, where am I at on this problem? Has the problem been defined? Yes. Where am I at? I'm identifying the root cause, right? And then I'm using that. It was not definition heavy, Morgan, I can promise you.
Wow. Wow. Was it disappointing for you seeing that, Kristin?
Yes. I felt like I worked very hard and I didn't get it to do some of that. But you know, that's okay. I'm happy. I passed and I worked hard.
That's what it's all about. That's what
So
it's
it
all
was
about.
good.
So what I'm going to do for our friends on the call, Kristin has mentioned a few videos that I shared with her. So I'm going to take the time to put them in the chat for everyone, and then just watch the videos that she recommended, because it will help your mindset. It will help your mind state, and that should help you. Let me just copy all of them. I think the links will come across as is. Let's put them in the chat.
And I'm down. Any questions you guys want to ask? Morgan, you got more? I'll
Yeah,
even
more
share like
questions.
bodily things. Yeah.
Engineer, any questions? Baby, any more questions? Mac, you guys ask. Now's a great time to ask the questions. Comments, concerns.
Well, while you're thinking, I wouldn't hesitate to call Phil if you start to freak out. He coached me a couple times in the week before. Okay. I'll say a couple other things too. Like the night before the test, you know, I don't fall asleep early and I needed rest. I did the early morning test like they recommended. So I needed to be there like early. It was an hour drive and all that stuff. I did like 4 magnesium tablets, which helped me sleep. No alcohol because it can throw off your sleep cycle, people. But really take care of yourself. And I do the hard stop, like Phil says, 5 o'clock or 7 o'clock, let it relax so that you're ready to go into battle the next day. I was halfway thinking about staying up late, and then I was like, nope, you're good. You're ready. You've heard everybody's advice. Do what you're supposed to. And I'm really happy it paid off.
Awesome. I'm really, really excited and happy for you, and sky's the limit for you, Kristin. When the time comes, I'll let you know when our next Life After the PMP exam is. And
Okay.
I'll share with the other graduates from the class, because Tiffany, remember, Tiffany was in class with you. So it's funny that now all of you folks get to be in the same class, hopefully for one of the live after the PMP exam. I should be having a live session, so hold on to that thought. I'll make it public. And any other questions before we move on? Morgan, any questions? Any other ones? Did that pretty much answer it? Because it's sounding like you should go take the exam next week, buddy, at this rate. Radio silence from Morgan. He's like, I'm gonna go.
Do it. You can do it. I know you can. You guys, this is the great thing. If you've taken Phil's stuff, you're ready. You're going to be ready. No doubt.
Yeah, and for those who may be in faraway lands and you're wondering, okay, can I jump on a similar program? Yes, we have Kristin was actually on the Udemy platform in addition to the lives we did via hpmexam.com. So for those of you that are already in the course, how many of you here are in the Elite PMP? This is the link. Just going down to tinyurl.com/elite PMP. But this is only online. You're not going to get all the phone calls, the handholding, the group sessions on Saturday. If you want to get that extra, then you need to go to hpmexam.com. That is where you really want to start, hpmexam.com. We've got another hpmexam.com cohort starting very soon. And if you want to be part of that, just sign up and we'll begin the journey the same way Kristin did. I mean, look at it. She's now PMP, but not just that. She's also getting guidance beyond the PMP. So the life after the PMP session, she'll be on that. We'll guide you, not just to get certified, but to dominate and kill the game. That's what we're about. And I'm only waiting to see what Kristin's going to do, because I know she's going to do great things. I know she's going to coach, mentor, and train others. And she might write a book or two along the way. She's already written a book. So her notes are, so she might as well.
Right.
Matt has a question for you there.
Okay. I absolutely listened to everybody's advice and I went to the exam center, which was a very pleasant experience. They do recommend you get there half hour early. Everybody gets there. That's when the door opens if you're 8 o'clock. So, you know, I would definitely be there like maybe 40 minutes early, because then there's a line and you got to get patted down and, you know, do all that stuff. So give yourself time.
The Dog and Pony Show. Yeah. Good deal. Well, one more thing I want to mention for those of you who are like Kristin. Kristin was very keen on not just passing through the information for purposes of the exam. She really wanted to master the project management dogma, which she did. So for those of you who are similar and maybe you are still struggling with a few questions, I got to let you know of a brilliant opportunity happening next week. And this happens all through the year, but there happens to be one next week. I want you to go on down to 360.pmradio.org. And when you get here, you'll be able to sign up for a half-day boot camp. This is not PMP. This is PMP Plus. So this is real world, real talk, real alignment. Those of you who are PMPs, we have a breakout session for you to learn all the meat and potatoes you need to succeed beyond PMP. For those of you that are not PMPs and you don't even know much about project management, we have a breakout room for you to learn about Project Management 101. We have a couple of books which have already been given to you. So Mac, I know you're going to be in that session, right, Mac? Yeah, Mac's going to be in that session. And I know Mac had a question or two about the books, because I'm giving so much value next week. So we're giving the soft copy of the Project Management 360. This is everything you need to know about the process groups, the knowledge areas, Agile, the principles of project management, the whole kit and caboodle. But it's not as intimidating as one of the big old PMBOK guides. And then this one is called The Confident New Project Manager. Can you imagine getting both of these? Right now, it's going for under $100 plus the half-day seminar. And then there are other mystery gifts I'm giving you, like a live online course for project management. So for those of you who want to go deeper in the world of project management, you want to network with already certified PMPs, I'm bringing in 10 people from my leadership team. They're already all 10 PMPs, many of them been certified for years. They're coming on to share Kristin, of course, you know, you're automatically going to be in that meeting. So we're going to give you the invite to come and join us in that meeting as a PMP. But for those who have not done it, 360.pmradio.org. Okay, we're going to have a lot of our alumni there. It's going to be great. So if you haven't signed up, do that, and you will elevate your consciousness on project management. Mac says, yes, I'll be in the session. Oh, you're trying to unmute? Oh, let's get Mac off mute. Sorry, Mac. I didn't see that. Let's get you off mute. Are you there,
Yes,
Mac?
I'm here, Phil. Thank you. Yeah, I'll be in the
Awesome.
session. I'll be so excited.
Lovely, lovely.
Gain
It's going to
as
be
much as
great.
information I
Honestly,
can.
if
It's
you
so
if you
helpful.
have any
All
friends, you care about taking PMP or project managers already, please invite them because they
absolutely.
need to join. Yeah, I'm going to be dropping so much gold. But you asked the question. Did I answer the question about the books? I
Yes,
think you were looking to get the hard copy, right?
exactly. Yeah.
Cool, cool. So this one's going to hit Amazon in a few days. We
Mhm.
already have the Kindle of it on Amazon. This one's on Amazon, both the Kindle and the hard copy. So
Beautiful.
highly encourage you to let family, friends, other people know. It's going to be absolutely great.
I'll do.
Good deal. And
Appreciate
Kristin,
it.
you don't have to speak, but just come prepared to ask questions if you're available. If not, then it will likely be the other one, maybe after this. So Kristin, now
Great, I'll
that you're a
try.
PMP, I want to give you just two things to do. The first one is to find people who don't know about project management, just lay people in businesses and teach them, coach them, train them, mentor them. You're up to the task. You know it. I know you know it. I look at your notes and I'm like, you need to become a teacher. That's why I start calling you the professor. So that's the first piece.
Thanks.
And then the second piece, I need you to plug into social media and I need you to share your story. When this is available, I'm going to give you the video, post on social media, let people see it, encourage people, because I think you're really passionate. There, every now and again, there's a few students who are like fire on this thing, and you're one of them. And I can tell you love the stuff. You know, I remember going for an interview at a banking organization here in Arizona, long, long time ago. And someone was asking the interviewer, did he do well? He said, oh, he loves the stuff. He like, I'm a junkie. That's what, in other words, he was saying he likes the stuff. He drinks the stuff. He smokes the stuff. You like the stuff, Kristin. You drink the stuff.
Yes.
So, so I want to encourage you to
Yes,
keep
thank you.
doing it. Keep evangelizing the word of project management. I think you'll make a great difference because you truly love it. Teach your son who was coming to ask you questions in the middle. He'll be a great subject to start with, right? Teach him some project management. But I want to say a great thank you to you. Obviously, one PDU for the great work you've done today. And let's stay in touch. Let's see if we can have some sort of conference with April on LinkedIn just to kind of touch base with her. You've told her the good news, right? Is April aware?
Oh yeah. I called you and then I called April.
Lovely, lovely. I'm sure she's very proud of herself because that's how it works. You know, I always tell people word of mouth, get to friends and family and help them to help themselves. All right. Well, Kristin, you're a rock star.
And thank you. I just wanted to wish everybody the best of luck. You're going to kill it. I know you will. Have faith in yourself and just get her done.
Absolutely. Let me ask engineer. Engineer, we haven't heard any questions from you. Let's ask engineer to unmute. Engineer, are you there?
You might be working.
I was just about to say, who knows? Maybe engineers on a weekend working. Are you there, Engineer Med? Okay, Engineer Med's at work. Guaranteed. He's busy. Engineers are always busy. Well, Kristin, I want to say thank you to you. I want to say thank you to our awesome viewers. And to those of you who are scared, take Kristin's advice. Schedule the exam, 30 days. It's possible. Go to hpmexam.com, sign up, or go on to tinyurl.com/elite PMP. You'll be able to jump on that same program that she jumped on. And we look forward to you succeeding. Kristin, final words from you.
Servant leadership, agile mindset. You're in good shape.
Wow. Thank you so much.
You bet. Good luck, you guys. Thank you for joining.